Well, hello everyone, and welcome to East Side Rendezvous.
Welcome.
Welcome. How's everyone doing tonight? Stacking Kid, how you doing tonight? Appreciate you joining us. We have a very special guest with us tonight, and we're happy to have him join us. He's going to have some great information with us. We got South Texas Prepper STP with us tonight. Hey STP, how you doing?
I'm well, so thank you so much for the invite.
Oh, thanks for joining us. We're really excited to have you here, and we got a fun night planned ahead of us.
Yes, yeah, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So,
like I said earlier, yeah, I'm sorry. So, like I said earlier, I've been listening to your channel since you started with S&P, and it's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we appreciate that. We appreciate your support. And for those of you who don't know, who don't do Google Hangouts, we usually get together, a half hour or so ahead of time and just talk and make sure technology is working. So it's kind of funny, kind of strange when all of a sudden we go live, and kind of like a deer in headlights there momentarily. I kind of felt like, So
wait, we're in the middle of a story.
But no, we appreciate everybody joining us tonight.
Right.
So STP, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. Running around trying to get technology together, but that's established. So
yeah. You were telling us about your high tech area that you live in down there.
Yeah, we have no signal where I live, so I have to. I came into town to get a signal. So. But
Oh, wow.
I mean, it give credit to your show because I really enjoy it. So it's really an honor to be out here. I'm very humbled I get to get invited.
Well, we're happy to have you, and I do want to let everybody know that Mr. and Mrs. S&P cannot be here tonight, and I know this is 2 weeks in a row, but they just had something else come up, and they do plan to continue to join us, and they really enjoy the live streams. In fact, they're pretty bummed that they can't be here, but obviously life still happens and things come up, and they just have something else to attend to tonight, but they should be back with us next week. So we'll go ahead and carry on and enjoy the time with our guest and go from there.
Okay, so just want to say hi to SJ, West Coast Stackers, Kendall Kid. If anyone, I'm kind of sitting on the side of the computer if I'm missing anyone. So if you don't mind helping me out, TB.
Yeah, Steve LaBarber's here. How you doing tonight, Steve? Appreciate you joining us. And right now I think we've got just about everybody. I see that there are some people earlier. I'm sorry for the mix-up. I tried using the notify people an hour ahead of time, and it looks like it might have caused some confusion because there was other people out here earlier asking, where I was at and stuff. So I apologize to anybody that got out here early, and it looks like the people that were here aren't here now. So I thought that was a good thing to give an hour preview or a notification, but apparently it must have said I was going to start an hour early or something. I'm not really sure, but
right, because we hadn't done that before.
No. And we start these every night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully we'll still get people to come on in and join us and have some fun with us tonight.
Yes. Oh, one more guy. One more shout out to is the Stacking Kid. He's been in a couple of streams, and I'm so impressed with him. That is a smart kid. So I just want to say, hey.
Yeah, I wish I would have been there when I was his age. That would have been great to be stacking at such a young age. I think, was he on Coast to Coast the other night? I think he may have been, or Sales, or I think he was on sale the other night, wasn't he? Yeah.
Was he? Huh.
He can tell us that, but pretty sure he was on one of the live streams I was listening to the other night. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool that a youngster like that is getting involved so early.
It's awesome to see that. Yes, it's awesome to see these young kids that are starting to learn this so much earlier than we even had a clue to hear any of these different perspectives.
I think I was in juvie at that age.
Yeah, me too. You don't want to know what I was doing at that age. Hey there, Off Grid Power. How are you doing tonight? Full Push Metals.
Hey,
Good evening. We appreciate you joining us. And so, STP, you had a little story for us.
Well, yeah. So for the people in the chat, so we came on a little early to test technology, and we chit chatted, and we shared. I shared a little bit about the little community the community that I live in, right? So I live in a county. However, the little town here is it's really small, around 4,000 folks or so, and what we have a lot of roaming chickens here. We have so many chicken, and I mean, you cannot have a conversation sometimes because the rooster are going off. And our town did not have an inspector. The restaurant, they had let a gentleman go, and fundings issues. They couldn't hire anyone for a while, so they finally brought a guy on. So he went and he started inspecting restaurants, and he started inspecting yards and the height of grass, and he's trying to beautify the city as per his job description. But this town, it's everyone, the judge, the city council, the chief of police, the sheriff, everyone here, everybody's tied into each other, right? So he started writing people up for chicken.
Oh.
Well, for roaming chicken, too many chickens in the yards, and so apparently he wrote up a councilman relative. So he got called in front of the board, and he was asked, do you have something against chicken? So he said, the people here. I live in a little town called Florida. I live outside the town, but the town's called Floresville. So he said, I do not have any issue with Floresville having chicken in their yard, having chicken as long as it's in the HEB freezer section, which is our grocery store. So he said this in front of all three councilmen and the mayor. So that was his last act.
That's a great story.
So that's how small this town is. So which leads into the prepping and how we help each other out and et cetera.
Yeah, I just want to take a moment to say hi to Novus Stacker and Bradley Height. Hey guys, thanks for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Just another average stacker. You were one of the ones out there early guiding me in my ways, letting me know what was going on. I appreciate your help there. And thanks for joining us, everyone. And just for those who came in late, it says it in the title, but we do have South Texas Prepper join us tonight, and so we're going to talk to him about some of his stacking, prepping type ways that he does, and so we're looking forward to it, because if you haven't gone to his channel yet, please do, and give him some subs. We're hoping to drive some of his subs up tonight, because he's got some really interesting stuff. Not just straight up, one topic, one subject. He gets into a lot of great different things in his videos. So I think you'll really enjoy it. Go do some binge watching on STP's YouTube channel. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Right. We really did.
Yeah.
We were really impressed with
the
information, the variety of information.
That's one area I'd like to do this year, is do more variety on my channel. My channel tends to be pretty much the same stuff. So, variety's good. And it's one thing I think you'll find in STP channel is he's got some good variety.
He does.
Well,
so,
thank you so much for the push, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, no. Thank you for joining us tonight. So let's go ahead and get into a couple questions. We've got some people that's joined the stream. And so we can go ahead and get started. Let's start. We can start with stacking. I'm sure that some of the prepping will flow over, because they're can be pretty well related in a lot of different areas. But can you tell us how you started your stacking? What made you kind of start stacking, and how you've kind of evolved since you did that?
Yeah, sure. So it's I do not have any strategy. I do not have any tactics behind what I do. As long as it, to me, and when I say that, people just roll their eyes. It's just, I really don't. I use if it makes sense, then I'll do it. If it makes sense during that time, then I will pull the trigger. But when did I start? I started collecting coins back in the 80s, probably the mid to late 80s. And I was just fascinated with U.S. coins. The first coin that got me interested in it was the Statue of Liberty coin, the commemorative Statue of Liberty silver dollar, the 90% silver.
Yeah.
And I just thought the Statue of Liberty was all that, and I even took a trip to New York to take a tour of Ellis Island.
Awesome.
Yeah, but dummy me, the reason they had the coin was to raise the funds to do the repair. And a couple of years after that, I went out there and she was all caged up, with scaffold repair, having her skin repaired. So the ferry just took us around the statue, so I couldn't set foot on Ellis Island. But I did enjoy New York.
Well, that's sad, but on the other hand, it was great that you visited during a moment where it wasn't going to be repeated for many, many years.
Oh, let me just back up for a minute. So you said you have no strategy, but I watched a video today of you unboxing a 10-ounce gold coin. So if not having a strategy gets you there, well, honey, I want no strategy.
We'll have to talk about that, dear.
Yeah. So with that, right? So, my passion for coins, just grew as the years go by, and I bought mint sets and proof sets and strictly products from the U.S. Mint, and I loved it. And then life came along, and I quit doing that. What I focused on then, when I was working 9 to 5, or a little longer than 9 to 5, I should say. That I guess that's just an expression there. When I was in the corporate world, you lose sight of that. So what I did then is, but the strategy. I do have some thoughts in my head, and I guess we can use that as strategies. But I built portfolios. I built portfolios in the equity market. And real estate, because I was moving a lot from one state to the other. And I've been around this earth twice, so it was hard to move silvers around. We had movers that comes in and they pack us up and off we go, right? So I focus on the equity market, and then I focus on real estate, and let my asset build my portfolio, because the earned income is always going to be so tiny, no matter what you do. I mean, I was an administrator and I made good money, and I worked stem cell research, and I did well there too. But then one day I just said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I can't hire as an administrator. I hired people and then I fired people. I hired people and I fired people, and it'll just get to you, So now I have my portfolio built. I have my asset built. So now I'm going back to the metals, right? So the metal is the last thing that I'm building, because at the end of the day, the day that I hope Yankees out there listening, but because he said, what's in your cart? Well, I don't take that as in what's in your cart. I take that as, what are you checking out? What's going to happen when you check out, right? So when I check out, if I lose everything, real estate, if I lose, all my equities, I still have a little chest of shiny stuff that I can say, hey, here you go. This is all I got for you. But at least it's something to pass on. I don't plan on selling it, and pretty much now I'm getting these products for next to nothing or nothing really, and I don't know if you saw the video where, well, actually you did because you made a comment on it. I tool around, I look, I mean, everything, a lot of stuff is luck with me. I'll show up to an auction. I bought a piece of property blind and double my money, and then I said, oh, this is good. Let me do this,
That was your first time then
yeah.
for an auction?
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's where the goal come from is like, I was at the library, and again, small community, the ladies know what books I read, that they know how much computer time I need, whatever it is. And I was there, and a friend of mine came in and we chatted, and he said, "Oh, excuse me, I gotta go. You want to join me? There's an auction going on outside, outside the courthouse." So I went with him. I dropped, I'll tell you the numbers. I don't have any issue with numbers. I dropped 22,500 on 2 acres of land.
Wow.
And I didn't even mow it. 6 months later, I sold it for 40, and I had to hold it for 6 months because of the redemption rights of the owner. And they can come back and redeem, and there's a whole set of rules. They have to pay you 25% of what you paid and back taxes and all that stuff. But I didn't have to pay back taxes and all that. So I flipped it and made that. And at the same time, I was talking to this young lady next to me, and she said, "Well, you can buy this too." And I looked at her and said, "Well, what are you talking about? And how do you know? Oh, by the way, who are you?" So she said, I'm the city attorney, and I'm responsible for these sales. So I said, "Oh my goodness," right? So from there, I did a closeout bid on a meth house. I made 10 grand on that. I paid four for, actually, it was a meth house, I paid
Wow.
four for it and rented it out, made $1,200, and then flipped it for 16,000.
Wow.
And,
And
and,
this,
and
and
yeah, and I keep on doing that.
this was the tax sale property?
Right, right, right. Yeah. And then, from there you transition to, um, what is it, Freddie Mac? Was that a Freddie Mac? Yeah. Right. So she's nodding her head. So
Fannie Mae, I think.
is it a Fannie Mae? So we bought a Fannie Mae property, and it was a pretty nice property. And I think we're going to make 50 grand on it,
Wow.
and that's what we do, So now I have, and then I don't know if you saw I think I'm going to share a video. I'm going to make a video of a place I have down south where, I find credit unions, right, that said, "Hey, I will, if you borrow money, if you borrow money on a mortgage, right, we'll pay $5,000 on closing." So I found a credit union that did that, right? Became a member, and I went down south on the coast, found a place, bought it, did the closing, right? And the stipulation is you have to hold a loan for 3 years, right? So I put my 20% down, borrow a good size, a substantial amount. A month after, actually after my first payment, I went into the bank, paid it down to 3 years, right? And then, so now I'm doing a monthly payments on it at 3.5%. So I'm hoping that's not confusing, right? But at the end of the 3 years, I come out $800 ahead because the amount of interest that I paid is less than their closing fee.
No kidding.
Yeah. So, and then what I do is I use it in the wintertime and then on some weekends, and then I use that as a vacation rental. And I make, like I said, I'll tell you numbers. I make $200 a night. So the 6 months, like last year, I made $30,000 on it, right? So over a few years, the whole place is paid for, and I didn't pay anything.
Nice.
You see what I mean? So it's, you just sit down and you think it out. Hey, look, this makes sense. Let's do it.
Right. And I think so many of us are led by the advertisements and we're not informed about some of these opportunities that are out there. We just have to be aware of them, and like you said, think things through. What makes sense for you, and is that something that you're interested in?
I would just be, afraid of the risk, and that's where we always have our problem is, just wanting that comfort zone. But because I'd be thinking, well, if I'm willing to pay 22,000 for it now, why would somebody be willing to pay 40,000 for it 6 months later? But indeed, they did. So
Right, right. Yeah, I did that with a house. I did that with, I did some construction on the home. I cut the house in half. I bought this old house. I cut it in half. So, and then the property had two homes on it. And I did a little work in it. I flipped it. I'm holding a note at 8%. The guy paid me every month, and if he's 2 months late, 2 months without payments, you just file the paperwork at the courthouse and you get your property back.
Oh, with just 2 months?
Yeah, that's why I wrote it in the contract.
Oh.
Yeah. So, it's just, I just, like I said, there's no tactics, no techniques. I just do that. So now I take all the proceeds that I have and then I dumped it into, gold and silver. I mean, I don't have money. I mean, I tell people that I don't have money, I just to buy, right? 1 month, I might have enough to buy this much gold. 1 month, I said, dang it, now the price dropped and I don't have any money. So that's,
I know we all go through that. It's like, wait, I wanted to buy more, but I can't. Everything
right.
has to go with the budget. But if you're consistent, then at least make some progress. That overall, you're better off than just sporadically waiting until you feel like you can afford it. And sometimes if you're really in that solid comfort zone, you miss some opportunities, and sometimes we do take a little bit of a risk. Maybe we'll do this instead. So, but you have a few other things that you do also for generating some income, like your VRBO rentals and things like that.
Yeah, so I do the same. I look at hey, look, if it's gonna pay it off, I mean, if it's gonna pay for itself and give me the asset, then I'll do it. It does, but again, we go back to, I've been doing this for a while, so it's like it's I hate to say this, and it might be an insult to some people, but for me, it's a no-brainer, So that's what I do, and then there's days where, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was going to ask you, but you have to do some research and understand as far as property values, etc.
Yeah.
If you're going to purchase something, you can't get overextended in that. You cannot, for example, be successful by purchasing a property at too high of a value and then not being able to recoup that, or at least break even on a regular basis to gain.
Right. Yes. So, okay. So I got to caveat something also, right? So where did I get started and all this stuff, right? So, back in the day when I used to work for a living, right? I have a lot of clothes, wear a lot of clothes. And you go to events, you go to a horse race, you go to a thoroughbred race, a charity thoroughbred race, and it's, the theme is cowboys and rhinestone. So we have to dress like Westerners, with boots and hats and belts, and I look silly as heck in it, But, men dress like that, and women wear, diamonds, bedazzle on their jeans and all over, right? So we have those events. So I said, you know what? No more, not doing this. So what do I do with this stuff that I have? And I did not buy the stuff at retail. I would go to Goodwill and I'll give you an example. I bought a pair of boots and it turned out to be a pair of Tony Lamas, Del Rey Anteaters. I paid $38 for it with taxes, $42. I put it on eBay. It sold for $600.
What?
Right? Yeah. So I go to a thrift store and there was a lighter, a Zeppo lighter. It was presented by some commandant of the Marine Corps. And I paid $8 for it, put it up for auction. It went for 139.
Man, GB, you need to go shopping with this guy.
I'm telling you, that would be great.
Yeah. So I did that, right? So now I have a little asset, and all the property that I buy, Michelle here, she's a real estate agent. So she'll do an analysis for me. And I pretty much know what, anybody has in their backyard. That's how small this town is. In other words, I know value of the properties here. So I start buying stuff, but I pay cash for it. So I don't overextend myself. No banks come. I have no debts, outside of a year and a half on the condo, which someone's going to pay off for me here in a year and a half, right? So I have no debts. So I eliminate that risk piece. It's like, the gold and the silver that I buy is from the proceeds on some other flip that I've done, right? So if gold goes back down to $400 an ounce, okay, it's down to $400 an ounce. There's nothing we can do about it, So, and I do take advantage of what people say. That's the key thing is it's like, what do, you hear a lot of stuff about the border walls. You hear a lot of stuff about, all the politics stuff, and people get all fired up and what can you do about it? Nothing. You cannot do anything. Well, you can vote. Sure, you can vote, but still you can't do anything about it, right? So if Obama says, I want to go to alternative energy, don't buy solar, because whether you like alternative energy or not, you can't do anything about it. But I didn't go out there and buy solar cells. I went out there and buy batteries. The president of the United States just told you we're going to go to alternative energy. Take advantage of that. Buy battery, because solar energy has to go somewhere.
That's
right?
true.
Do not buy batteries from the United States because we have EPA laws. Buy it from China. You see what I'm saying? So you just take that out a little further. Donald J. wants a border wall, right? I'm ready to pull triggers on certain concrete companies, steel company. You're up in Michigan, you got Portage Steel in Indiana. You're down in Alabama, you got, what is that? Eufaula, Alabama. I forgot the name of the steel company. But you have I'm not giving you any advices. I'm just saying, hey, look, you listen to your surrounding, and if someone want to pay me $600 for a pair of boots, okay,
you'll let them.
I mean, if people, I buy Robert Graham shirts, right? I don't know if you ever heard of Robert Graham shirts.
No, I haven't.
Right. So you go shopping for a Robert Graham shirt, you walk into a little boutique and they sell Robert Graham shirt. They have a skinny 6'2" model handing you a bottle of water and say, can I help you with anything? And give you a bottle of water when you shop. Because shirt starts at $200 and ends up to around $450 a shirt, right? I have a guy that I have a place, an establishment that sell me Robert Graham shirt for $19 to $50. I buy it, I wear it, I flip it on eBay for $79 to $119 used, So I just pay attention to your surrounding,
Now I need some help with shopping.
Oh, I don't think you do.
So I take the proceeds, then I let, I build asset, and then my asset build my portfolio. And now, like I said, the last thing I'm doing is I'm buying precious metal. So that, for the folks who's listening, that's my tactics, right? I think, you're going to hear a lot of advertisement out there where if you bought gold back in the day, you would have triple, quadruple your money,
Right.
Look at the S&P 500 charts, I don't think anything can beat it outside of, gold and silver are what word am I looking for? Non-producing asset. It doesn't do anything for you. It just keep you, it's an emergency fund. And it goes back into prepping. That's my prepping portion of it.
I've heard that it's more of a wealth retention. So if things did go in a bad direction, that you're not financially devastated. You did make a comment on one of your videos that, you know, if things really did go badly, we were in a bad situation, people were really not going to be interested in having a piece of silver if they needed bread. I'm kind of reformatting that. Maybe you could add a little bit to what you really said.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, we're in a society where I don't think we're. Oh my goodness, I don't think we're ever going to be short for food in this society. Yeah, there's people that goes hungry, and you hear that, you know, and we can't do much about that. You know, it's outside of educating, you know, and I'm not in, you know, I mean, it would be so arrogant of me to say, hey, look, you know, you need to do this for your family. I can't do that, you know. But there's other means for food. I don't think, you know, we're going to get into the apocalypse or the walking zombie state, you know. I prefer comfort, you know. And we can go on with you know, with the line of question if I'm jumping all over the place. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, you're doing fine.
Yes. So do you, I see that firearms is also part of your prepping strategy. So, and there were like 5 items or that?
Yeah. So, you know, in this community, everyone, I mean, I don't have any, I mean, I have some beautiful shotguns, right? Some over and under, some side by side, double barrels, you know, and I use that to shoot skeet, and it's a blast. But you know, these guys down here have arsenals. Uh, you know, I mean, the military, I don't think have much on them on these guys. They have it all, you know. Um, I knew a guy, he wanted to drop 20 grand into a Gatling gun. And I said, oh, what are you going to do with a Gatling gun? You know, but it's pretty and it's all chromed out. And, you know, it's these guys are. So, yeah. Um, I don't think I've dropped it. I've never dropped a deer. You know, I bird hunt. You know, I have a lot of deers in the yard, but we can't discharge firearm where we live. You know, and hunting down here is really expensive. It's
Is
like,
it?
yeah, it's like $1,600 a rifle on a hunting lease. So
Really?
it gets pretty high, you know. So yeah, so my thoughts on weapons are I don't put a lot of money into weapons, um, in home defense, or you know, in cases where you have to hunt for food. Um, the bullet's going to take care of it. You know, I don't need Kimber match grade, or STI. There's a company called STI, and they make the best handguns here in Austin. And you know, a lot of competition shooters, they use STI. But you know, we don't. I don't need. I mean, my favorite gun is a 40 caliber that's I paid $225 brand new for, and it never jam. It shoots every time. But the idea behind it is let's talk survival. The idea behind it, the word survival, is not you that just, not me, you know, that are looking to survive. Everyone wants to survive, right? So the idea of you having a weapon, they'll stay away from you.
Right.
You don't need AR-15s. You don't need 308 machine guns. You don't need 50 calibers. You know, 50 calibers. Oh my God, it would go through a whole town. It wouldn't go to a house. It would go through 5 homes and kill a deer. You know,
Right.
you know. So it's, I don't know. So that's my thoughts on weapons. You know, we have places here that we go shoot clay, and that's really fun just to shoot clay. You know.
That is, it's fun going to the range and having other shooting competitions to keep our skills up. And, you know, it can be a sport as well as very practical on having that self-protection and, just like you said, a deterrent.
Right. Yeah, that's a great word. Yeah. And then, you know, you know, back when I was doing research. Well, when I was working on my when I was in college, when I was getting my learn on, we look at a lot of research, and it's they had two homes in Chicago. One was side by side, and one had a 3-foot fence, and the other had no fence. The one with no fence get broken into. The one with a 3-foot fence, was left alone, right? So criminals, they're not out there jobbing it. They're not out there 9 to 5. That they want a quick buck for whatever reason. Whatever they need a quick buck for. So they don't want to get caught. They want to go in. They want it easy. They want to grab what they get and go.
Right.
So my property, I do have deterrent. I have gates. Thick enough windows, and just knowing that there's a weapon and someone's there, it's like you said, it's a deterrent.
Awesome. Why don't we go ahead and take a break for a moment and do a giveaway? We've got a couple of giveaways to do tonight.
Sure.
And why don't we go ahead? Let's start off with our easy one first. I want to give away some Talking Bullion stickers. And so we'll make it a fairly easy question for you. And also, I've got some new Talking Bullion magnets coming in the mail tomorrow. And I have to tell you, if they look half as good as the picture, I'm really excited about them. So I'll make sure that I throw in one of those magnets along with it. So you can have just tons of Talking Bullion stuff to pass out to your friends and family. So anyway, so the question for the stickers is based on one of my recent videos. What coin did I recently get below spot? There was a video I just recently published that showed that there was one coin that I picked up below spot.
So the person that we see on our screen that is the first to answer. I know sometimes we have variation between what our screen shows and what their screen might show.
Right, because of the lag. So, well, we already got it. Off-grid power is the first one we see on our screen. American Silver Eagle. We see a couple people right after him, but American Silver Eagle was the one coin that I got below spot. And Silver Heist, I see you say dimes. I did put out a video recently about dimes, but I was looking for the one coin, which was the American Silver Eagle. So cool, off-grid power. I'll go ahead and send you out some stickers and on my new magnets, and that's awesome. So we have a couple more giveaways left tonight. That'll be a little nicer as far as value-wise. But let's go ahead and get a few more questions in for STP, and then we'll break away and do another giveaway. So let me just check the chat here. Hey, Rafe, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. It's good that you're here, my friend. Off-grid power, I probably have your address. Why don't you send it to me just to make sure? But I'm pretty sure I have it. We've communicated in the past, so.
So maybe we want to talk about like the vehicle and
sure.
As far as a getaway or a bug out vehicle. So what are your thoughts about the STP? I guess I should call it STP. What are your thoughts now about vehicles? And you talked a little bit about how you had a bug out location to go to, but how do you get there?
Yeah, so it's so my experience first off is I used to live in Hawaii, and we had an earthquake. I live in California too, and both those locations. I live out in Monterey Bay, and then I live in Honolulu, and both of those places we had experienced earthquakes. And the ones in California is extremely small, right? You just have an emergency plan where you just get under doorways, and there's not a lot that you can do with an earthquake. But when you lose power, you food spoilage and et cetera, right?
Did
And
you,
same with
STP, did you say that Hawaii has earthquakes? I guess I don't hear a lot of earthquakes in
right.
Hawaii.
Yeah, so I was in Hawaii and we had earthquake on the big island,
Okay.
and it affected us, and we lost power. We lost power for a day, and so all we did was just, the neighbors got together and we just had a barbecue and drank some beer, and then the power came back on and
That's one
we're
way to
good.
handle
That was a good
So
emergency.
yeah, so it was, so it, it gets you thinking,
it.
and so others incident that I had is I lived in Florida. I lived in the panhandles of Florida, and we evacuated like, oh, I want to say 5, 6 times. We had all kind of hurricanes that came in during the, is it 2000? I lived there from 2000 to 2007, right? And we bugged out like, I want to say 6 times,
Almost once
and
a year then.
and yeah, it was extremely bad, and so what do you do? Here come a hurricane. You don't pack up, you board up your windows. And what I've learned is, um, all roads become one way. You head north,
Right.
and you're gonna lose power, right? Trees is gonna fall on your vehicles, whatever spare vehicles you have. So I took my vehicles that I wasn't bugging out with, and I parked it in the middle of the field, where no trees will fall on it, right?
Wow.
And I took all my Gatorades and all my waters that I have, and I throw it in the freezer.
Oh,
And right, so to this day, that's how I store my water. I freeze it, right? So you think about, hey, look, where can you get safe water? Right. So, water heaters would, you can drain 40 gallons out of your water heater. It all depends the size of your water heater, of course, so I freeze my water, right? And I'll talk a little bit, when we come to food and water storage, right? And then you just bug out, right? So here, of course, I'm in Texas. Michelle over here. Say hi again.
Hi.
Right. So you hear that voice. Remember that voice? That voice went to Germany while I was here when Harvey hits
Mm.
by myself. She was in Germany, right? So shame on her. But so what happened during Harvey? When it hits, we didn't have fuel production, right? So and we ran out of diesel fuel, right? But I had oil, I had cooking oil. So, how was I secure enough to use cooking oil? So I moved my daughter one time. I have a daughter that lived in Florida and she was moving. So I helped her move, and she buys stuffs from Costco or whatever, and she had a bunch of oil left. So I just said, don't throw it out. I just put it in my gas tank, my fuel tank, my diesel, right? And it burns, it burns, so it burns just fine. So I keep enough oil. So if I don't use it and if I need to bug out and there's no fuel, like when Harvey hit and we didn't have diesel fuel for several weeks, I
wow.
can I can drive,
Wow.
you know.
So specifically though to the diesel engine, you can use the vegetable oil because I would have thought that would have ruined an engine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, with diesel, it's based on compression, and I do keep a little bit of diesel fuel in the tank. And I have a bunch of vehicles, so all of it, all the vehicles is always full of fuel, right? And then I keep backup cooking oil, and I don't buy them. I buy them when it's on sale. So when it expires, I just dump it in the tank.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's how, and it depends where you're going. Um, uh, you know, if I have to go to an area, I have a place where it's extremely hard to get to. So, I use the four-wheel drive. I have to go there, or else if I have to, evacuate my place. Example, when you talk about prepping and getting away, what are you looking at? What scenario are you looking at? So for me, I don't think we're going to have an EMP. I don't think we're going to have, a total economics collapse, but there are home fires. I mean, people prep all the time for, hey, look, if the grid goes down, your house don't catch on fire before the grid goes down, So I look at the probabilities, right? If my house goes up, I just pack up and go somewhere else. I have an alternate, sometimes they call it a coop, a co-operating place, but anyway, so back on the vehicle, that's what I use. I have, off-road bikes or I prefer the diesel because I use alternative fuel.
So I noticed kind of your bug out place, your condo there, you had to get to through by going over bridges on an island. Does that concern you at all that, it might be hard to get to your bug out place?
There's alternative routes, it's just not one. But, I would only go there if something happened here,
Right.
3 hours away.
Okay, yeah.
And if I'm down there, and I do live in both location, and if I'm down there, shopping to flip, Goodwilling, thrifting to flip for my stash. So, if it gets bad there, I come up here, So, and that's part of prepping, because you have to look at where are you going to go. I mean, I'm not going to grab my bug out bag and go into the woods and find out if a bear really shits in the woods. Excuse the language.
So what's your family think about your stacking / prepping? Are they supportive? Do they think you're losing it? Where are they at with all of it?
Well, I think my son is good with it, because we're joined at the hips. But I'll let her. I think she might think that I'm nuts, but I'll let her talk.
None of my business what he does with his money.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. Well, sometimes it's not just about the money. It's just about people think that you're just kind of freaking out and overdoing it and just, having panic attacks and, all that kind of stuff. They really don't see it as, being a smart thing to do. They see it as just you kind of losing your mind,
I think I don't do it as a waste. As long as it's not a waste, then I think we're good with it. I think I'm good with it. Hey, Yankee, what's going on out there?
Yankee's got some exciting news about his family. Did you see that, STP?
Oh,
It looks like his daughter got engaged.
Oh, yes.
That's very exciting. Oh.
Huge congratulations.
Yes, congrats.
That's really cool. All right, Yankee, take it easy. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Have a good night.
There it is. Yeah, I see it.
Awesome.
Well, this would probably be a good time to do another giveaway. So, STP, would you like to go ahead and do your giveaway?
Yeah, so what I'm going to give away is a coin. It's a Texas coin. It's a generic round, and it's a copy of a Texas commemorative coin. In the front of it, it has an eagle and a star, and then the back is the Alamo, and the coin is Remember the Alamo, and it has I don't have it in front of me, but it's Sam Houston and I think it's General Travis. I could be wrong on the two gentlemen, and it has the Angel of Victory on it, which I don't understand. I think there's more to it than that, because the Angel of Victory we actually lost at the Alamo, so I don't know. But yeah, so I would like to. It's 1 ounce of generic round, and I've taken that to all 5 missions. So the missions, like the Alamo is a mission, and Mission San Juan, San Jose, Mission Esprada has a lot of histories. The church are still active. People still get married there. It's a beautiful romantic places. Those are beautiful romantic places.
Sounds like a great giveaway. You're not going to tell me that I'm disqualified, are you?
No.
Darn it. That sounds like a really nice round. So
Yeah. So yeah, it's a generic round, but I personally taken it to all these locations. And I don't know if you know, but in the right out in the Alamo Plaza, right, there's the Crockett Inn. There's a lot of really neat stuff around Alamo Plaza, and a few step away is the Riverwalk. But there's this hotel. It's called the Mango Hotel. It's a historical site, right? And there's inside the Mango Hotel, there's a Mango Bar, and that's where Roosevelt recruited his Rough Riders. So I took the coin to the Mango Bar where Roosevelt recruited his Rough Riders also. So these I have 10. I gave away 4 of them already, and I'll do some more. But the coin has been to really nice historical locations.
Sounds great. Sounds great. So
It's a well-traveled.
Yeah,
It's a well-traveled coin.
And I even took it to the basement of the Alamo. No, Silver Heights, there's no basement in the Alamo. Silver Heights want to know, did I take the coin to the basement of the Alamo? But there's not a lot of basement here in this area. But yeah, so that's the coin I'm going to give away. So I guess the question would be, it's going to be a mathematical question. All right, so you guys listening? All right, it's going to be a simple addition and subtracting question, okay? So here it is. You're a bus driver, right? You're going down the road, and there's 5 people on the bus. You guys ready? 5 people on the bus. You're driving down the road, right? You come to a stop. 2 people got off. The next stop, 5 people got on. The following stop, 6 people got on. The following stop, 2 people got off. Here's the question. How many times did you stop? The first one to get it.
Boy, you got us on that one. I'm a calculator
Big bank, little bank scored 4 times.
4 times.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, Big Bank, Little Bank. That's a great gift.
That is.
4 times.
All right, so if you can send me where you want the coin sent, I'll get it to you.
And then you got me to post your email account in the chat or no?
Yeah, please.
Well, that's great.
It's a great gift, that's for sure.
It
A great
is.
win.
It is.
I just posted his email address, so Big Bank, Little Bank. If you can send him an email, STP, send him an email with your address, that would be great.
Thank you. Thank you for posting that.
You're welcome. And then, so it's getting a little bit late, but still got some good discussion going on. So hopefully everybody wants to hang in there for a few. And we do have one more giveaway to give away here soon. But, I'd like to talk a little bit about, I'm still enjoying the prepping a lot, but I wondered if we could talk a little bit about gold, because obviously gold is everybody's kind of dream collection. What I think most people would prefer to collect if they could, because it's small. You don't have to carry around, tons of weight. And it looks like you've been able to purchase some gold now. I know that you talked about, eBay helping to pay for it, which I think is just a brilliant idea. But can you talk about how you generate the funds and then what kind of gold you prefer to buy? It looks like you had a few different options from fractional to very large. And you get a particular kind like American Gold Eagles or Canadian Maple Leaves? Or why don't you give us a little bit about your gold, STP?
Yeah, so I try to, oh my gosh, this is so hard. It's it's silly, right? So I kind of buy based on the value of the gold, how much it would cost me. And you hear, I mean, and I talked about this, and you hear guys out there too, and I just don't understand why gold is going up so, up to above near $1,300 right now. So I focus on around $1,250, because fuel down here is, I mean, fuel is not expensive now. So why does it cost so much? You're not paying your folks anymore. So why does it cost so much for why is the gold why has gold gone up to 1,300? My price is 1,250. Anything below 1,250 I buy, right? Because for some reason in my head I think that's the mark to buy. Anything over that is I try to stay away from. And then if it gets up to 1,300, I get very selective and I look at the premium. And that's why I bought the 10-ounce piece. It's where, okay, when gold is around $1,225, that's, with the premium, that's the price that I paid for this 10-ounce piece. So when it gets up to 1,300 and it's the same price, so that's what I buy. And I just like it, so I bought it, right? So the strategy, I don't have any. Gold is gold. 1 ounce of gold is 1 ounce of gold, unless you're talking about collector stuff like the pre 33. The rarity of it. There again, there's people who like that, and I don't want to offend those people. But if gold gets to $2,000 an ounce, like it nearly did. My gold will appreciate. Will the pre 33 appreciate above the $2,000? Is it a collector, or is it is it a bullion piece? So I will get to the pre 33 stuff, but I have a goal of so many ounces of a gold before I get to the pre 33. I want that chest to hand over to my kids.
But how about that? How about that 10 ounce, or what's your strategy with that? Because obviously, when you decide to get rid of that, that's only going to be, a few channels that, would be interested in something like that. So what's your thoughts on the 10 ounce piece of gold that you bought? Is it just as a savings more than anything?
Yeah. That's the intent behind it, is not to sell it. It is, and by the way, I did make an offer on a kilo coin, but they wouldn't talk to me. So I said, okay, save me a few dollars, right? So it's going to be hard to flip, but somebody bought it, right? And I kept an eye on the availability of the 10 ouncer, and they went. I went back and looked at the year of the monkey, and I can no longer get that. I went back to look at the year of the horse, and it was gone. So the year of the pig went. So I said, wow, these things are moving, and it's like watches. You got $100 in your hands, and you go and buy you buy $100 digital watch, or else you buy $100 mechanical watch. 3 years the digital watch is not worth nothing, and you might get $150 for the mechanical watch. So there are those markets out there, and that's why I look at the gold pieces. It's easy to flip cheaper homes. It's real easy to flip $50,000 home, $60,000 home. It's harder to flip the $2 million home, right? You're trying, Michelle here, she's trying to flip a $1.3 million home right now, 1.2 on Elm Creek.
Wow.
No, 850.
850. She's trying to flip a 850 home, which is cheap in that neighborhood, right? And it's not moving, right? So I told her, why not bump it up to 900, 950? So there's market, and it goes back to that to some events that I have on eBay. I had a pair of Matterhorn boots that I tried to sell for $79. I paid $27 for it. I put up for $79. Nobody bought it, right? And so I said, screw this. I bumped it up to $139, and it sold that same night. So there are markets. There are people who are willing to pay certain amount for certain items. So I don't have any concern about getting rid of it. I don't plan on getting rid of it. My plan is to look, hey, look, you know, I when I transition from corporate, and this is only me, every prepping situation, every prepper should look at an individual plan. It's different for everyone, you know. So for me, I have several checks coming in automatically every month. So I'm not worrying about where I have to get rid of my goal. I have checks coming in for the rest of my life. So I don't have to, I mean, healthcare is taken care of, so I don't have to worry about, hey, look, I have to flip this piece of gold. I don't, I'm going to pass it on to my kid, you know. So, and he knows because we're joined at the hip, he's working on the roof with me. He's working on a foundation, we're working on a flipping foundation. We pull electrical, we buy gold. I tell him my thought process of this piece and that piece. So go back to what do I prefer? Gold is gold. I like the Perchment stuff. I like the Queen Beast. I'm not a favorite of the premium, so when it goes on sale, I buy it. I can live without it,
Which mint was that Rooster 10-ouncer from?
That was the Perchment Year of the Rooster.
Okay, Perchment. Okay.
Good. It's going good.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. And then, so you obviously have an idea what things are worth when you go to the thrift store and, plan to buy it to flip it. So I know, coins, it's pretty hard to do with eBay because of the eBay costs and the PayPal costs. But, clearly you can do it obviously with other things like you're doing yourself.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I haven't thought about getting rid of the coins, and shame on me. But that's one thing I don't plan on getting rid of it. And the thing with buying coins is, when I come into when I have a successful deal with real estate, then I treat myself to a set of coins.
Yeah.
And I just don't treat myself to a set of coins, right? I'll give you an example. The last 5 coins that I've purchased, right? This is how I do it, right? I was successful on bought a ranch, right? Why did I buy a ranch? Because I wanted to shoot on a ranch. And in Texas, you need more than 10 acres to shoot, right? So
Okay.
I bought a ranch, found oil on it. Yeah, I got some mailbox money, right? So I go out there and shoot. And then I said, okay, I'm done. I don't want this ranch anymore. I can't flip a big ranch, right? So I cut the ranch in half. So I flipped half of it, and then I kept the other half. And eventually I sold it, so I doubled my money on the flip. I was happy, and so what I did there is I said, I'm gonna treat myself to coins. So I didn't splurge, I wait for the sale. And what was the sale? The sale was eBay said, hey, look, there's 15% or whatever it is. I don't remember, it was whatever. All I know is I got $100 a coin, right? So I bought 5 coins. Got $500 on eBay bucks, dropped it down. A couple of them was below spot, a couple of them was a few dollars over spot, right? So that's my tactics behind that. Right? At the same time, I used my credit card and I got 75,000 miles, a bonus on that credit card, and whatever it is that I got, right? So now, I got a free ticket to Europe, got some coins at a discount, and that's how I work that piece.
Well, you're definitely making it work for you. I think I wish I could do a little bit more of that. I mentioned I think I'm commenting on one of your videos that I used to be a pretty big eBayer several years ago. I got an email from eBay a year or two ago saying I'd been a member for 20 years. I'm like, how could that be? But anyway, years ago, I used to flip, I call it flip, but used to turn around computer parts. You can't do that anymore. They're so cheap nowadays, but I used to sell hard drives and CD drives and RAM and stuff on eBay. And I'll tell you, it got where, every night I was packaging up 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes to send them out. And, I was making some good money off it.
Isn't it so crazy? It is so crazy. You know, it is you I mean, it's just like eBay was the greatest thing, you know. It just I oh, but you know, eBay did kill some stuff though. You know, I have okay, so all right, here's the age, you know. I have a collection of Hummels, right? I was fascinated with Hummels, and you know, when eBay came around, Hummel prices just dropped, you
Hmm.
know. So yeah, I think you know the e-commerce business is pretty cool, you
At
know.
least you didn't say Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, and you're right. I mean, there's ebbs and flows and everything in life, and there's no way I could make that kind of money. I was looking for computers to buy off people so I could part them out, and I could definitely sell them. But again, they're just so cheap. It's almost like
Right.
a TV repairman. I mean, who uses TV repairman anymore? TV breaks, you just go buy another one. So and it's just funny how much life has changed so quickly.
Right.
But you're
Yeah.
still finding a way to make eBay work for you, and you're turning in some awesome coins. So that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
But
Uh,
the thing with that TV is I haven't done anything with eBay. You know, I just have remnants out there. You know, I'm not aggressive on it at all. And whatever. So on the eBay side, what I do is that when I find a coin that I like, you know, and you know, I'm so uncertain with bars, you know, because I'm just old school, I guess, you know. And if I find a coin that I really like, then I'll buy it on that PayPal credit, you know, and you know it pays it. I pay it off with the proceed that come in from the remnants of eBay sales in 2 or 3 months, and then I'll buy another coin, you know. So it doesn't affect my day-to-day living, you know.
yeah,
So yeah, it's just a wonderful thing, you know. I think anybody can do it, and of course, a lot of people is doing it, and they're very successful.
all right.
You know,
Yeah, one of the things that we're going to ask you about that you just mentioned was, bars, any kind of poured bars, or you just pretty much a coin guy, or do you venture out to get something poured or any types of bars, or not really?
no, I'm not a bar guy. You know, it's and I hear bar does not make sense to me. You know, there's a lot of heart in it. You know, there's guys out there. There's wonderful guys out there that poured, and it's a hobby, and they're successful at it. And as a collector, you know, you want to buy bars and stuff, but I, I'm not a bar purchaser. You know, I think the Perksman does a wonderful thing with their coins. It's beautiful. The emo is beautiful. The swan is beautiful.
Hmm.
The U.S. government, gosh, you know the American Eagle. That's a beautiful coin. You
Yeah, it
know,
really is.
um, I I don't think anybody that can pour as beautiful as some of these artists that's done it already. And there's people who like. I'm not bashing them. There's people who like pour bars. That's just not for me. You know, I don't think it makes sense as an investor, anyways.
Yeah, I don't buy a ton of them, but I do have some. I buy some off of the YouTube channels and things to, just to be a little unique and creative. And I've had some, Talking Bullion rounds poured for
Yeah,
me from Backyard Bullion. But overall, I pretty much stick to, the American silver government issue type stuff. And then, I'm a huge, constitutional slash junk slash 90% guy too. I buy a lot
right.
of.
And he finds the deals too.
Well, that's it.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
finding great deals.
But he
It's
does the
Yeah.
research. He spends the time to do that.
Yep.
Yes. So I think I want to give Southside a shout out because he's an awesome guy, you know, and he just recently put out a video about the constitutional coins
Mm-hmm.
that he bought and
All right.
how he couldn't believe the prices he can get them at. You know, I think constitutional are wonderful stuff. I think they're just, you know, I don't know if you saw what I did with my the deal that I got on my constitutional. I bought 80 ounces of constitutional, 80 ounces. I'm talking about after the math, after you take out the 10% of unnecessary stuff, 80% of silver. I don't remember the face value on it, but I bought 80 ounces at $12.50 an ounce.
Wow.
And that's just putting an ad out on Nextdoor and says, hey, look, I'm looking to buy silver at spot or near spots. And dude, text me immediately. I did a quick land sale. It was so funny, right? I made a deal. I bought a piece of property for $100 at a tax sale. I paid $300 in back taxes, and I sold it for $4,000. So whatever I can't do math right now because I don't have an abacus, but whatever the profit was. So I put an ad out. I showed up to the guy wanted me to Dairy Queen, showed up to Dairy Queen. We signed the paper, the paper. I did a quick claim deeds for him, signed the papers over, signed a contract and signed a quick claim deed over to him, notarized, et cetera, at the bank first, and the whole process. Signed it on the hood. He gave me $4,000 in cash. I drove to this guy's house that was selling the silver, and he gave me 80 ounces of silver for $1,000.
Wow. That is incredible. That's a great price. I picked some up for about last month for about 12. It was about $12.60 an ounce. I think I picked up 15 ounces, and I took it to a coin show the next day, flipped it for $15.50 an ounce, and bought some more silver with it. So, I mean, once in a while, you can run into those great deals. So now this wasn't constitutional. This was like generic, but still, I mean, coin dealers bought it for, spot basically. So,
yeah. I mean, and all this stuff that I bought was I think there was, I can't remember now, it was 10 or 20. I think it was 20. I think it was 20 of them with Morgans and Peace.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And then he threw in 2 ounces of American Eagles, and he said, I don't know, these things aren't worth anything. So he threw it in. I said, okay,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love buying constitutional. Like I say, you can get it for usually spot or below, and you can pay a lot more for it. I'm surprised if you look on eBay how many people are easily paying $18, $19 an ounce for it. And, you see like those 127 sold, 112 sold. I'm like, I guess if people are willing to pay it, I'm just not much of a flipper. If I buy my silver, like the deal I talked about last month where I flipped it the next day, that's not normal for me. I normally, once I buy my stuff, I don't like to get rid of it. But the opportunity was there, and I thought, and it was just some generic stuff and nothing very recognizable. And I'm like, why not make $3 an ounce off it?
Yeah. Yeah. And, I don't flip. I just buy and hang on to it,
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Yeah. It's, hell, it works for Warren Buffett, and we're nowhere near Warren Buffett. That dude is like a genius, So, I just admire some of the people who think like that, like Quest Communication, I don't know, you knew Warren Buffett bought a whole bunch of railroads, and before that, when we did away with railroads, Quest Communication went in and bought all the old railroads and run their fiber optic to it. And I said, that's just amazing. There's some guy that came up with that idea, So yeah, but go back to the constitutional silver. It's just, they're just beautiful stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's a pretty good lead into our last call for the night. I wanted to give away some constitutional silver, so I would like to give away $1 face value worth of constitutional silver. So for those of you that have hung on past the hour, which we really appreciate, we'd like to go ahead and do another giveaway. And I'm sure I will probably throw some stickers in that package as well. So
what's the question that people have there?
The question is, and I don't know, it might have some numbers involved. I don't know if it's going to be harder or easier than what STP did to us. I'll tell you, you really had my brain to thinking. So here's a question, and just remember, this goes off of my research, what I found. So here's a question for $1 worth of constitutional silver. Well, what is the calculation used to determine the amount of actual silver in constitutional silver for both coins with wear and BU coins. So there's two calculations, two numbers out there that people use for calculating the amount of silver in coins with wear and coins with no wear, BU coins. And I'd like you to put on there what that calculation is, what number you would use. So if you had $1 worth of constitutional, how would you determine how much silver is in it? And I need both amounts on the same line.
Apparently you didn't read chat because Karen Jessup said no math.
Well, it's just a number. I'm not making you calculate anything. So
It's the number you use.
I think most people will know the wear number, which I'm seeing in the chat. It's the number that's without wear. I think that might be a little bit challenging for people. But that's important to know because some sites use that number to calculate. They assume there's no wear in constitutional silver. And there indeed is. It's very hard to buy constitutional silver. It doesn't have any wear on it. So,
you know, I have some constitutional silver that I bought that they're Walking Liberties, and it feels like a little piece of washer. It's like there's nothing on it. You know, that's how much wear is on some of those coins. You know? But you know, I bought it in bulk and I didn't look, and I said, you know, it's not that big of a, to me, I didn't think it was that big of a deal then. But if I guess it's not that big of a deal, why am I talking about it?
Well, let it go a couple more seconds. One person's answered it pretty close, just not quite exact. So we'll let it run for a couple more seconds, see if somebody else has
Has the same answer as what you use.
Yeah, what I'm looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you do those types of calculations all the time.
Yeah, and there's websites that you can go and validate that that's the number that they use as well. So sorry, Karen.
Just give you a frown.
So Karen, it's not math. It's just what number do you use for the math?
It's numbers.
So anyway, we'll go ahead. It's getting late. We'll go ahead and call it here. Yeah, I thought you guys might Google it, but we'll go ahead and give it to Mark Z. Mark Z is pretty close. I was looking for 7.715, which is the wear number, and then 0.7234 is technically what the BU version is, 7234. Yeah. So that was close enough. We'll go ahead and give it to you, Mark. So thank you everyone for playing along. And you know, if you've been on our previous chats, you know that most of my questions are pretty easy. So I tried to make it a little bit challenging. Sorry, Crazy Coin, you were just in there just a second too late. We went ahead and gave it to Mark Z. So in the name of time. So anyway, I think that's pretty good. So Mark Z, can you send me an email at tb@talkingbullion.com and send me your address, and I'll send you out $1 worth of constitutional silver. And some of you were around and then giving some different answers, but I was really looking for. So anyone, just so you know, if you have $1 and you want to find out how much silver is in it, you just multiply it by 0.715 for anything with wear, and that'll tell you where you're at. So basically 71.5%. So anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and bring it to an end, just because it's getting late and I don't want to keep people on too long. So STP, I really want to thank you for joining us tonight. I'll tell you, your information was just, I feel like we've only scratched the surface. I'd like to get you on maybe again sometime, because it just really seems like there's more to tap into there on that side. You really had just a wealth of information for us.
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, it's just so short, and you know, when I mean, you sent the questions, you know, and it's just, we're everywhere, and so, you know, I guess my brain works kind of different, you know. It's just everywhere. So
well,
so
the questions are just a guide, just to make sure we're not sitting there with, you know, silence. So we need to, you know, just review some information. But you know, what we did is exactly what we want to do. We just want to get online and have a discussion and have a chat. So where it goes is where it goes. And I had a great time. I learned a lot from you, and I really appreciate you spending some time with us
It
tonight.
was great.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. But there's a topic that was kind of interesting. I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna throw it out there before we go.
Okay.
That a lot of people, when they prep, I do keep food. I keep 6 months. I say 6 months, but some people say you have enough here for 9 months, right? And
Mhm.
and food is easy. It's the water piece. The water piece is so hard. So a few years back, I no longer have this, but I thought the perfect place for water is, you remember the old chest freezers?
Yeah.
Well, someone gave me an old chest freezers, right? And it was
Mhm.
consuming electricity. So what I did is I filled the whole bottom up with jugs and jugs and jugs, full gallon jugs of water, and then I put a piece of plywood on it. Then I put, food in it. I used to buy, I don't know if you remember this, but you can used to go buy a quarter of a cow or half of a cow,
Yeah.
throw in like 10 pounds of extra chickens and stuff, and I put it in there. But I realized that I can put a lot of, quite a few gallons of the water in there, and it doesn't run because the water, the ice once it freezes, it keep the rest of the stuff freeze like a big long-term cooler, and it doesn't consume electricity. So when incident happens, you have water there in the freezer, you know.
So do you
So
just put it in regular water jugs? You just nothing special as far as the container you put it in?
right, I just put it in milk jugs,
Hmm. Yeah.
old gallon milk jugs, and then I
Hmm.
lay, there. But that's the thing to throw out there to think about. Hey, look, it's really, and that's just my way. I do the same with Gatorade. I do the same. If I lose power, I jam a lot of um, um, ice container in there to keep my food, from going bad. Of course, I have insurance to take care of spoilage too. Your homeowner insurance to take care of that. But that's the last thing I'm going to end with is for the preppers out there. The most important thing is water.
It
You
really
know,
is.
It is.
so to think of how do you store water or how do you get water? So okay.
No, that's good because anytime it's good that you freeze it. When we store water in milk jugs, seems like 6 months or 8 months or a year later, they like spring holes in them. They just start leaking. I'm like, how does that happen? But it's probably just probably it's the plastic so cheap nowadays. But
Right.
no, I think that's a great approach to freeze it because obviously being frozen, you run out of power or whatever. That frozen water, not only can you drink it, but can also help, like you said, to make a big cooler and help preserve things as well. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're the same age, right? So you remember the waterbed? That's a great source of water. Bring that back.
I don't know. I think there were antibacterial additives in those things.
yeah, I actually mentioned the waterbed in a conversation the other day, and some guy looked at me like, "What?"
What is that?
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
Mrs.
much.
TV.
Thank you.
We
Thanks
really
for
appreciate your
joining
time
us.
tonight, STP.
All right. Take care of yourself.
All
Hey,
right,
send
take
me your
care.
address. I'll send you one of my coins. One of my
Oh,
Texas coins. Yes. Send me your
oh,
address.
awesome!
Well,
Thank you
thank
very much.
you. That's awesome.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.
It's great to
Night
Take
see you.
care.
chat.
Okay, bye
All
bye.
right. Take care. Bye bye.